I hope you're doing well today. I want to come and share something with you about an organization called the National Black Parents Association. This is an organization that I started some few years back. And, we want to get this organization relaunched because, you know what? The needs that are facing African American children have just increased since I started this organization back in 2015, I think it was. So there's still so much work to be done for our children, and we got to get out there and we got to help them. So, let me just introduce some of you to the National Black Parents Association, and allow me to, I guess, reintroduce the rest of you to this organization. So first, let me tell you why I am so passionate about the National Black Parents Association. There are a number of reasons, but four comes to mind. First, my personal experience attending public schools, growing up, all right? First of all, I never made it beyond the 10th grade. I am a licensed attorney today. I rebounded by the grace of God. I ended up going to college and to grad school, and then I finished law school. But I didn't make it through the 10th grade. And I place some of that responsibility on some failures that are in the public school system. As a matter of fact, a lot of the young men that I grew up with in my community, a lot of them didn't graduate high school. Most of the guys that I grew up with did not graduate high school. That left a tremendous impression upon me. And once I, got my thinking straight, I made it my business to have a voice in this, because we as a community, the African American community, we cannot thrive and be the community that we can be when so many of our kids, especially the young black male kids, are not finishing high school. I mean, that just has serious ramifications in our community. Another reason I'm so passionate about this is because after I went to college, graduated college, I graduated in 1989 from North Carolina A&T State University with a BS degree in chemistry. I became a public school teacher. And I taught chemistry, physics, physical science in high school in North Carolina. And the things that I saw as a teacher just really blew my mind. I mean, blew my mind. And what I'm talking about is the fact that, again, public schools are just basically failing black kids, especially black male kids. And when I say failing, I'm not talking about just failing in their grades. I'm talking about failing them in the sense of black kids, especially black males, tend to be the first suspended. They tend to be the first placed in special education. They are overwhelmingly tracked into the lower level courses. I mean, it is horrendous what you see in most public schools. And what I see was just so disturbing to me. It was so disturbing to me. And I can recall as a teacher, a lot of my black male students wanted to just come to my class and sit in the back of the class and basically do nothing because there was so low expectation for them. And they were able to do that in so many other classes. But given my background and given the fact that it cost me and caused me to drop out of high school, I was absolutely convinced that I was not going to allow not one black kid to do that in my class, okay? So I was different, and I had high expectations of those kids, and I expected them to do their work and be good students. And most of them, sorry about that, most of them met my expectations. Young people tend to meet higher expectations if we have higher expectations of them. Okay? So my personal experience as a teacher, I could go on and on about that. But let me move to the next thing, and that is I'm passionate about the National Black Parents Association because I'm also a minister. I am a pastor. And my heart is to do ministry in the inner city, urban areas where there is a lot of public school failures. I mean, the public schools that are in most urban areas are horrendous. They just are failing schools, basically. And as a result of that, a lot of black kids either don't make it. You know, some cities have a high school dropout rate of over 60%. 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10, especially again, black male students, don't make it through high school. So I have a heart to reach these young men, to help not just the young men because this is an issue that we see across the board, but it does tend to be disproportionately an issue with black male students. But the National Black Parents Association will be focused on all black youth. All right. So as a pastor, I see it. And then I'm also a licensed attorney, like I said, and I definitely see the consequences of failing public schools. When my law firm represent juveniles, for example, a lot of those juveniles have been failed by public schools. A lot of those juveniles have completely given up on education. So, I see it over and over and over again, not only with my juvenile clients, but with a lot of our adult clients. We see it with them as well. And we can trace a lot of it back to failures in the public school system. And, as my wife and I were raising our children, education was huge in my family. It was huge. We had some very definite rules that our kids had to follow growing up because we put such a focus and premium on education. So even as a father, I am passionate about the National Black Parents Association. So those are the reasons, some of the reasons why I have great passion about the National Black Parents Association. Now, let me share with you the mission. What is the mission of the National Black Parents Association? And it's real simple. Our mission is to defeat the school to prison pipeline and to develop young black scholars. Let me say it again. In fact, I have a slide. Let me put this slide on the board for you here. There it is. Our mission is defeating the school to prison pipeline and developing young black scholars. That is our goal. That is our mission statement. Defeating the school to prison pipeline and developing young black scholars. Defeating the school to prison pipeline. You may ask, what is the school to prison pipeline? Well, it is very simply this notion that if African-American young male students do not stay engaged academically in public schools, that tremendously increases their chances of going to prison, of becoming a part of the criminal justice system. It's just a fact. And that's why we have to target the public school system where the overwhelming majority of black kids attend school. Most black kids don't go to charter school. Most of them don't go to private school. Most of them attend public schools. And so we have to focus on helping our children in those public schools because, again, if we don't, that tends to place them on this school to prison pipeline. And once again, as an attorney, I can tell you that it exists. There is definitely a school to prison pipeline that we need to keep our children out of, again, especially our black male students. Okay? Now, so who is the National Black Parents Association for? Who is this organization for? Who was in my mind when I started this organization? All right. It is for it is for anyone who has black children that are struggling in public schools. So it's for any parent of a black child that is struggling in public schools. Okay? So any parent who has a child that is struggling to make it through the public school system, the National Black Parents Association is for those children. Shall I say, for the parents of those children, because we want to come alongside the parents and solve those parents' problems. Let me show you what I mean. We want to, as this slide says, the problem that we're trying to address as the National Black Parents Association is to provide black parents the information, the resources, and the support they need to motivate and advocate for their children in public schools. So that's the problem that we intend to solve as the National Black Parents Association. Again, we want to be a source of information, resources, support that black parents need to motivate and to advocate for their children. That's what we want to do. The National Black Parents Association wants to solve that problem. That's what we're dedicated to doing. All right, are you with me? And so we have some goals for 2021. There's some things that we want to accomplish in 2021. Let me put them on the screen here. So our goals for 2021 is we'd like to open at least 2 chapters across the country, at least 2. There are, 6.5 more months in 2021. If we could open 2 more chapters across the country, that would be great. I don't care where. The New York City Black Parents Association, the Philly Black Parents Association, the Oakland Black Parents Association, the Memphis Black Parent Association, the Durham, Raleigh, it doesn't matter. Our goal is to open at least 2 chapters across the country because we need to be present in these communities. We are a national organization, but we need to be local because that's where the education issues are. The education issues are local. So we want to open local chapters. And for that, we're going to need your help. We're going to need your help, parents, to help us get chapters open in these cities, in your city, in a city close to you, in Columbus, Ohio, or in Cleveland, Ohio, or in Miami. Again, it doesn't matter with us. If we got motivated parents who see the need to have this kind of organization in their local community, we want to start chapters in those cities. Our second goal is to host several virtual town halls on education issues facing Black children. Host several virtual town halls on education issues facing Black children. Given the fact that we're on, hopefully, the tail end of this pandemic, we hope, but at the same time, it's not gone. So we want to do a couple of town hall meetings from various locations, but we're going to have to do them virtually out of the abundance of caution. So we want to do at least two, okay, before the end of the year, so that we can tackle some of the issues that our kids are facing in public schools across the country. I want to talk about those issues, all right? Also, we want to increase our YouTube subscribers to 100,000 subscribers by the end of 2021. Now, you may say, how many do we have right now? Well, give me a drum roll. We only got 14 YouTube subscribers right now. And that's because we haven't been pushing our YouTube channel. We have basically been inactive for several years. Why is that? Well, because, listen, I need your help. I am a busy attorney. I am also a busy pastor. I am also a busy husband and father. I have written a book. I'm an activist. I mean, there are so many things that I'm doing. And it is, what's the old saying? Teamwork makes the dream work. So I need your help. I need you to jump in here with me and make the National Black Parents Association go across the country, because I know you see the need just like I do. I know the need is in every city, in almost every public school. You see exactly what I'm talking about. Some of you parents, you're struggling right now with your children in public schools. You're getting these notes from teachers. Your kids are not interested in school. Some of them are getting suspended, expelled. All kinds of things are happening to our children in public schools. And we got to do something about it. I mean, the onus is on us. The responsibility is on us to help our children. And I know a lot of you want help, but you don't have the information, the resources, and the support that you need. That's where we come in. That's where we come in. Another goal that we have is we want to increase our Facebook followers to 10,000. We have a little bit shy of 2,000 Facebook followers right now. Okay. By the end of the year, I would love to see that number increase to 10,000 followers, because there is power in numbers. The more of us there are, the more serious school systems have to take us. Okay. If you walk into a school and into the principal's meeting or into the school district's meeting, and they think it's just you, they're probably going to dismiss you. But if you come in as a member of a national organization, one that has local support, one that has local influence, they're going to listen to you then. If it's just you by yourself, they're probably not going to listen to you and your concerns. But when there is an organization backing you, they will listen. That's why we need to increase these numbers. Again, increase the YouTube subscribers from 100,000, to 100,000, from like 14 right now. In fact, I hope that by the time I get off this video, some of you have already gotten over to YouTube and have become a subscriber. Please make my heart happy by doing that. Make my heart happy by by the time that I get off this video, I see that a few of you have gone over to YouTube and have become subscribers to take our start moving our numbers up. Okay, come on, let's do this. We can do this. That's ambitious, right? You say, how are you going to get from 14 to 100,000 in 6.5 months? Well, it can be done. It can be done. And I'm a man of faith. I believe it can be done. And by the way, let me say this. I am a man of faith, but the National Black Parents Association is a secular organization. We're not a religious organization. Okay? I am a strong, committed Christ follower. I love the Lord. I am a believer in Christ. No question about that. I am a pastor. But you don't have to be a Christian to be a part of the National Black Parents Association. We don't discriminate on the basis of religion, is the point that I'm making. We don't discriminate on any basis. Anyone can be a member of the National Black Parents Association. But our mission is to defeat the school to prison pipeline and to produce young black scholars, because again, it is young black kids who tend to do the worst in the public school setting. But no, we're not a religious organization. I am a Christian. We, follow Christian values, etc. But there is no religious litmus test that someone has to take to be a part of the National Black Parents Association. All right, now I'm coming to a close. A couple other things I want to say. Actually, just one more thing. I can write off everything, cross it all out. I think I went over everything I needed to go over. Thank you all for being patient with me. So the last thing that I want to say is that we are not affiliated with Dr. Omar Johnson. We're not affiliated with Dr. Omar Johnson. Now, that is not to take any kind of shot at Dr. Johnson. Actually, I agree with a lot of what Dr. Johnson says. Not everything, certainly not everything, but I do agree a lot with what the brother is espousing. Like him, he, like me, I'll say it that way since I'm the elder here, he loves black people and I love black people. I mean, I love my people. He says he's Pan-Africanist. I too am a strong Pan-Africanist and have been so for many, many, many years. So yes, I love black folks. He loved black folks. I've dedicated my life to helping black people, and so has he. But there are some differences at the same time, okay? And so I just want to make it known that we're not affiliated with Dr. Omar Johnson. He started an organization called the National Independent Black Parents Association after I had started the National Black Parents Association. Okay? Again, what distinguishes his organization from ours is he calls his the National Independent Black Parents Association. Ours is the National Black Parents Association. Let me go back to that slide and you'll see, again, we're the National Black Parents Association. He is the National Independent Black Parents Association. All right. And our mission is completely different than what he's doing. All right. So I just wanted to throw that out there. And ironically, it's my understanding that he has purchased a couple of school buildings and has named one of his schools the Frederick Douglass something, he calls it. Ironically, we started the Frederick Douglass Christian Academy back in 1994, I believe it was. It was an after-school program that was associated with our church, but we did that back in 1994. And I named it the Frederick Douglass Christian Academy, which was really bold and radical because our church and this after-school program was in this small North Carolina town, this sort of redneck town. And to call something the Frederick Douglass Christian Academy was really bold. But Frederick Douglass is my favorite historical character. And let me be more specific. I'm talking about black figures back during slavery time. Frederick Douglass stands out to me. I have a big portrait of him in my office. So there's a lot of irony there and similarities in what Dr. Johnson believes and espouses and what he's doing and what I have been doing for many, 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 many years. Again, that Frederick Douglass Christian Academy, I started that back in 1994, I believe it was. And the National Black Parents Association, again, we've been around for a few years now, although we've been inactive. So you really could call this the relaunching of the National Black Parents Association. And I want your help. I need your help. I want this organization to spread its tentacles all across the country so that we can help as many black parents and their children as possible. That is my heart, folks. That is my heart. You ask anybody who knows me. If you go on my Facebook page and social media pages, you'll see my love for black people run deep. It runs very deep. So I want to help these kids. It breaks my heart every time we end up representing some juvenile who is in a world of trouble, in large part because, yes, some family issues oftentimes are present, but also because the school system has just mistreated that child. In my book, I talk about, by the way, the name of my book is Education and Justice, How Public Schools Fail African-American Males, okay? Back, speaking of the 90s and speaking of this kind of book, a man that I respect greatly, Dr. Kawanza Kunjufu, wrote several books on this very same topic. I read every one of his books. We kind of take a different sort of approach to things, but we agree. In fact, I quote him in my book because I agree with him on many, many things. The name of his books were, several of them were Countering the Conspiracy to Destroy Black Boys. I mean, the book had a great impact on me. He wrote a lot of the things that are in my heart. So, shout out to Dr. Kunjufu. I don't know what he's doing now. Haven't heard from him in a while, but I'm sure he's still out there fighting and advocating for black children. And so, look, I'm in solidarity with anyone who's out there fighting for the survival and the excellence of black kids. I'm with them. That's why I say, although we're not affiliated with Dr. Omar Johnson, where we agree on trying to help these kids, we agree on it. And I'm not abashed about that at all. So, yes, get in here with us. Go to our Facebook page. You may be there already. It's the National Black Parents Association. Just do a Facebook search and you should come to it. If you come to the National Independent Black Parents Association, that's not us. That is Omar Johnson. Also, go to our YouTube page. Okay? Go to our YouTube page and subscribe. I hope you do that before this video ends so that I can, when I get over there, I'll see that we went from 14 to 15 to 16 to 17 as we start climbing the ladder to get to 100,000 new subscribers by the end of the year. All right, that's what I wanted to share with you. Again, I am the founder of the National Black Parents Association, and it is our mission to defeat the school to prison pipeline and to produce young black scholars. Our organization is for any black parent who has a child or children that are struggling in public schools. And the problem that we seek to solve, the problem that the National Black Parents Association seeks to solve, is the problem of parents lacking the information, the resources, the support they need to motivate and advocate for their children. All right? More videos are coming. More resources are coming. Hang in there with us. We love you. All right, you be good. Bye.